All right, so today we are digging into a token that pretty much came out of nowhere to just dominate the crypto charts, Phoenix, or PHB. It just put on an absolute masterclass in volatility, and we're going to break down exactly what happened, why it happened, and what it could all mean going forward.
First off, just get a load of these numbers. In a single 24-hour period, while, most of the market was kind of flat or even down, PHB just rockets up over 90%. A move like that, well, it gets everybody's attention.
But the price, that's only half the story. The real jaw-dropper is the trading volume. It exploded by nearly 1,000% in the same 24 hours. I mean, that is just a colossal surge in activity.
So, yeah, that brings us to the big question. What on earth just happened here? Was this some kind of genuine breakthrough, a coordinated move, or just pure, unfiltered, speculative mania? Let's get into it.
So when you start looking for the catalyst, you find something kind of strange. There wasn't one. No huge partnership announcement, no big product launch, nothing. The data shows this entire price surge was driven almost entirely by a massive spike in trading volume that had, well, nothing to do with news. And to put this into perspective for you, the 24-hour trading volume hit over $82 million, while the project's entire market cap was just under $14 million. Let that sink in. The value of tokens traded in one day was nearly 6 times the whole project's valuation. That is a massive signal of extreme speculative churn. This leads us right to the first, and let's be honest, the most obvious side of this story, the case for this being a purely speculative event. A momentum trade just fueled by market hype and nothing else. The technical data is practically screaming it.
Now, for those of you who don't live and breathe charts, think of these like flashing warning lights on a car's dashboard. Indicators like the RSI and CCI, they basically measure how fast and how far a price has moved. And when they get this high, it's a classic signal that an asset is overbought, which just means the buying frenzy has probably gone too far, too fast, and a price correction could be right around the corner. Phoenix was flashing red all over the place.
And this quote from a CoinMarketCap analysis really just hits the nail on the head. Yeah, the trend is bullish, but it's built on a really fragile foundation of high-velocity trading. All this means is that the rally is being driven by short-term traders, not long-term investors, and that makes it incredibly vulnerable to a sudden change in sentiment. So where does that sentiment come from? Well, you don't have to look any further than social media. Trading signal channels were just plastering screenshots of these massive wins. We saw posts bragging about 163% profits on PHB futures trades. This creates this powerful feedback loop of FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it just sucks in more and more retail traders who are hoping to catch that same wave. Now, it's really easy to just dismiss all this as another speculative bubble. But that might be a little too simple. We have to ask, is there any actual substance here? Is there any real technology that could justify even a tiny piece of this sudden, intense interest? So let's peel back all those layers of hype and take a look at the project itself. What is Phoenix? What are they trying to do? Because this is where the story gets a whole lot more interesting. Okay, so at its core, Phoenix is building infrastructure. Think of it like the plumbing. It's a blockchain project designed from the ground up specifically to support Web3 applications that are powered by artificial intelligence. And it has a big focus on data privacy. And here's their crucial strategy, what makes them different. In a world where basically every project is chasing decentralized finance, or DeFi, Phoenix has this explicit no DeFi policy. They are intentionally staying away from that super crowded space to focus like a laser on AI and data privacy tools for real-world businesses. And they're building this with a full modular stack. So you've got a base layer 1 blockchain, that's the main security foundation. Then on top of that, there's a layer 2, a separate network built for speed, specifically to handle all those heavy AI computations. It's connected to real-world data through its own native oracle, which is kind of like a secure data bridge. And all of that is used to power their flagship app, AlphaNet, which is an AI platform for crypto trading. Okay, so now we have these two competing stories, right? The crazy short-term speculative frenzy and this long-term technological vision. So let's weigh the road ahead. Let's look at the potential catalysts that could drive real growth versus the very real risks this project is facing. Looking at their roadmap, there are tangible milestones on the horizon over the next couple of years. They've got the launch of their AI research platform, PhoenixONE, and some major updates to AlphaNet, their decentralized app. And this all leads up to the planned launch of an AI-powered decentralized exchange, or DEX for perpetuals, which is a massive market for advanced crypto traders.
This really puts the two sides in stark contrast. I mean, the bull case is clear. The AI crypto narrative is super hot, they have actual products on the roadmap, and that enterprise focus could be a unique edge. But the bear case is just as compelling. The charts are flashing major warning signs, they're going to face fierce competition, and there's one other major risk we need to talk about.
10%. That is the project's annual token inflation rate. Now, this policy is there to fund development and network security, but what it means is that there is a constant, steady stream of new PHB tokens hitting the market. This creates this persistent sell pressure that has to be soaked up by new demand, otherwise the price will naturally just drift downwards over time. So, where does that leave us? Hype or substance? Well, the recent price explosion was clearly driven by hype, but that hype has now shined a massive spotlight on a project that, well, it does appear to have some real technological substance behind it. Ultimately, the story of Phoenix is a perfect example of a conflict we see all the time in crypto. It's a tug of war. On one side, you have that high-velocity, fragile, short-term speculation. And on the other, you have this focused, long-term vision to build meaningful AI infrastructure. And this really brings us to the final question. The speculative frenzy is here right now. The technology and its adoption, well, that's still on the horizon. So can the project's fundamental growth arrive fast enough to outpace the inevitable cooling of this speculative fire? That really is the billion-dollar question. Thanks for tuning in.